friends! In this video, I take a week around Easter to visit prehistoric homies in Dinosaur National Monument and check out the Utah-Colorado border before heading into a couple of new zones in Colorado. And I end my trip at the back door into Arches National Park, checking out Delicate Arch. Two of my good friends met me at camp just outside of Dinosaur National Monument, and we headed out for an Easter weekend full of adventures. Covering over 300 square miles, Dinosaur National Monument was discovered in 1909, made a monument in 1915, and expanded in 1938. We headed down the Echo Park Road, which switchbacks down into the canyons. You just keep getting closer and closer to the views until you find yourself down in the trees. From 1900 into the 1970s, Chew Ranch operated deep in the canyons of Dinosaur National Monument. There are still a lot of remnants of the ranch today that you can check out. At roughly 1,000 years old, the Pool Creek petroglyphs are an interesting stop. These days, they're 35 feet up the canyon walls, but when they were carved, they were at ground level. The wagon wheel overlook, looking down on many, many horseshoes of the Yampa River, was our last stop of the day. Easter Sunday, I woke up and made the homies a nice fat breakfast, and we headed back out to do some more exploring. Alright friends, now this next spot was really cool to me. At the end of a little two-track road at 7,700 feet elevation, we ended up directly sitting on the Utah-Colorado border in the middle of nowhere. I've lived my whole life between the states of Colorado and Utah, so super interesting to me to see where the two states come together. We found this beautiful spot high up on this ridge to eat some lunch before we headed down to the dinosaur quarry. As we drive down the mountain, the excitement is building. We are three dudes ready to see some dinosaur bones. We made it to Corey Exhibit Hall, a building placed over the top of approximately 1,500 dinosaur bones, directly where they were preserved as fossils, dating back 150 to 200 million years ago, guys. You can even touch some of the fossils. Being an adult male, it is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. With a prehistoric education under our belt, we headed back to camp and enjoyed one last night outside of Dinosaur National Monument. The next camp I found myself in was high up on the Rone Plateau near Rifle, Colorado. The Rone Plateau covers roughly 70 square miles and hosts some of the country's largest deer and elk herds, bears, mountain lions, and some of the rarest plants in North America. We were barely too early in the spring and snowdrifts blocked our intended route, but we will be back to explore some more. Next, I found myself in the Dominguez Escalante National Conservation Area in western Colorado, protecting 210,000 acres of public land since 2009. Dominguez Escalante is home to bighorn sheep, mule deer, elk, golden eagles, turkeys, mountain lions, black bears, and collared lizards. And I saw a couple of cows and horses. Go figure. My whole life, I have driven right by this place on many road trips, and I've never turned in to check out what's going on. So I'm glad I finally did. And we will have a look around camp before we pack up our things and head out for more adventures. Escalante Creek, a tributary of the Gunnison River, has helped shape this incredible canyon. This creek has some very unique and dangerous whirlpools called the Potholes area that's super unique to check out. This creek has been important to man for thousands of years, helping survival in the harsh western Colorado climate. Let's drive through it. And it is time to climb out of the Dominguez Escalante National Conservation Area on this nice shelf road. You know, sometimes in the middle of nowhere, you get a rock stuck in your brake rotor cover and you have to take it all apart. But you know what? In the end, Jesus saves. At this point in my trip, I was rolling solo. I couldn't decide where to go, so I took a random exit off of Interstate 70 and I woke up in this peaceful spot near a backcountry entrance into Arches National Park. Guys, I'm just outside of Arches National Park here on the east side, and I found this beautiful rock garden. Look at these. These are so cool. And yes, that's Tyson hiding over here, breathing hard. It's a hot day. But look at this, there's a whole outcropping of this stuff. It's beautiful, super cool. Just big old chunks of it. So much color. Very cool. A little ways away from camp, I went through a gate and followed this fun, sandy road up to the very edge of Arches National Park. All right, so I've ended up here at the eastern border of Arches National Park. A lot of dirt roads to get out here. And here's what we get to. I couldn't stand it, and I needed to get closer and see how delicate Arch looks from this angle. Luckily, it was about 65 degrees with a nice strong breeze, so I rolled down the windows and left Tyson in the truck with some water, and I hauled ass to go check out the Arch. All right, and I'm randomly popping out of the desert here. There's a ton of people over by these arches. But this is pretty neat, guys. Let's see, we'll get up on this nub over here. There it is. All right, so the road I drove in on ends right over there somewhere. Can't quite see my truck right now, but we made it. There is the most iconic arch in Utah right there. Packed with people, but man, it's beautiful. And over this way. Oh, there it is. Oh, I missed it. There's a little arch right in the center right there. This was an absolutely wild view, looking down towards Salt Wash. And it's time to lick a stamp and send her back to camp. As you can see by the trees and my shower tent about to blow away, it got really windy by this point. So I decided I would pack my things up and head home. I seriously appreciate you all exploring with me. Give me a follow and drop a comment below to connect. follow me on Instagram at offroad_ZRChew. I never know where the next adventure is going to be, but I would love to bring you all along with me.